I'm Shelley Stonebrook, Mother Earth News' gardening editor, and today we're talking about crop rotation in your garden. We had a reader write into us and ask, should I rotate my garden crops even in a home garden scale? And if I do, what's the best way to keep track of what I've planted? So this is a great question. And yes, absolutely, crop rotation applies to you even if you're only gardening in a small scale at home. Some people sometimes think of crop rotation as being about, large scale farmers who are just transitioning a few crops from their fields from year to year. But actually for home garden crops, it makes tons of sense. And the reasons why you want to rotate your garden crops is that certain plant diseases and nematodes and pests can overwinter and build up in certain areas of your soil. And usually those things are attracted to crops in specific crop families. So if you're always planting the same thing in the same spot, let's say you're always planting tomatoes in the same spot every year, the different kinds of diseases and pests that are attracted to tomatoes are going to build up there over time. So your chances of having a really successful tomato crop go down a little bit every year. So the first step in successful crop rotation is to get to know those crop families. If you just search for vegetable crop families online, you'll get some really handy charts and lists that you can print out. Once you get to know your crop families, then you can go ahead and take some graph paper or your gardening journal and just sketch out your garden beds, perhaps designate a color for each crop family, and then just shade everything you've planted with that crop family. So mark where your tomatoes are, and you could shade all those red for tomato family crops. Mark where you're going to put your broccoli, cauliflower. You could shade all those things green for your cabbage family crops. In terms of a timeline, a good rule of thumb is to rotate on a 3 or 4 year rotation, which is essentially like saying don't plant anything from the same crop family in the same spot more often than once every 3 to 4 years. If you'd rather keep track of these things digitally instead of in your gardening journal, you can try the Mother Earth News Vegetable Garden Planner. This is a really neat piece of software that allows you to sketch out what you're going to grow where, and it actually alerts you if you're going to go against common crop rotation practices. You can find the garden planning program plus more great tips on crop rotation by searching for Garden Planner or Crop Rotation at MotherEarthNews.com. Happy growing!